Asterisk a lot. Was also speaking at Astricon, I think in 2005 and then 2007, and integrating Asterisk with cell phones, because in the meantime, cell phones started before there was no cell phones. And I mean, we used the phone booths when you had to phone home. And by the way, I was in we had, when we were starting Italia Online, we were on the side of the people that was starting Omnitel in Italy, the first cell phone operator in Italy that then became Vodafone. So also there was, you just are, I mean, like a sensitive guy, a guy that has gifted to understand other people in the right place, in the right moment. So I was very lucky, and there is a say in Italian that when the tides comes up, anything can be lifted. And so I was lifted from that because the tide was growing, and I was just passing by, and I was, interested into things, and so it all started, and then I was full 100% into voice and video technology, and after Asterisk, then I contacted Tony and FreeSwitch, and I was more and more involved in FreeSwitch, and then also Camaglio, OpenCPS, and obviously I was going into that with my kind of background, that is big installation, industrial grade, this kind of things. So I was never interested into let's build a very complex feature, or I'm not so a clever programmer or a gifted programmer. I'm more into architecture, design, maintenance, and those kind of things. So I'm more, let's say, the guy that knows about high availability, scaling, load balancing, how I can make like 100 machine act like one, and sustain I don't know, an earthquake or things like that, and that's how it has gone into the last I don't know, like 10 years or so. I ended up writing the official books and documentation for FreeSwitch, and I'm working about all this kind of scaling, load balancing, and availability things with the teams that are on the back of Camaglio, OpenCPS, cProxies, but also Janus, WebRTC things, and Fusion PBX with Mark, and actually we're all as kind of a small village where we are all friends, and we met at each international conference, and I mean, it's very nice and warm. It's closely knitted, almost a band of friends, and I feel good in that, and I see that also the other people's feel good, and it's working. And now the interesting part will be how to adapt all this world to the new challenges and opportunities that are coming from the Internet of Things and the scaling from the millions of devices connected to the billions or the thousands of billions of devices connected. So it will be from one side IPv6, from the other will be WebRTC, and many many other things, new protocols, etc. But you know, this can be maybe very different for small feature or for some programming language, because for example you shift some of the programming needs from the application, from the low level application server to a high level scripting language, maybe on the web page, so it will be PHP or JavaScript. But from a server side of point, and particularly for the big installation point of view, the basic techniques, the basic technologies, and most of all, what is your approach, your attitude, your good feeling, your capability of judge things doesn't change, because the basic philosophy of how you make things that keeps working is probably the same also if you are designing a petroleum, an oil refinery, or a nuclear plant. It's always the same. You have to be very paranoid and very cautious, and from one side, and from the other side you have to balance between what is really useful and what is cost effective, because obviously you have no infinite resources, so you can't throw $1 billion into one thing. So you have to make choices that are rational choice that balance the risk, manageability, and effectiveness, and all those kind of things. And this is how things are for me.
Ta-da! Thank you so much for your time today.